Jai Hind everyone, I'm Himanshu Tripathi, Assistant Professor from Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. And today I'm going to present you a session on production planning and control. Actually, this topic is the part of our subject, that is idea to business model. And in this subject, we generally try to tell our students then how they can become an efficient entrepreneur and how they can uh, achieve the success, or they can basically get the outcomes, they can get the fruitful things from the entrepreneurship. So we are starting this production planning and control. The first thing that comes in our mind, or most of the time the students ask me, then if we are not a mechanical engineering student, then how this topic is relevant for me. So this topic is relevant for any kind of startup. It may be relevant, but yes, this is relevant for the startup, those who are basically working in the product domain. They are basically trying to create new product, or they may be involved in the manufacturing in small or in the larger scale. It doesn't matter, but yes, this topic may be more useful for those students who are working with this startup engaged with some product. So it is a structured system to plan, to coordinate, and control every step of your manufacturing. Why this topic is important for the startups, because if a startup is basically planning to manufacture or develop any product, then this production planning and control is going to be helpful in planning their activities, in planning their product, in planning their targets, and coordinating with different components of the supply chain, you can say, and in controlling of the entire environment of their production. So that's why this is most important thing for the startup, those who are engaged with the product. The next thing about this topic is why the startup struggle, and what are the main key gaps. So the startup struggle from idea to output. They start with the idea and they want to reach up to the output. And while in this journey, the startup start with the dream, a brilliant product they want to create. They are basically willing for some eager customers or limitless potential, they may be saying, with their product or their services, that whatever they want to create in their entrepreneurial journey. So the dream is the main starting point. Dream is a starting point for any entrepreneur. Then comes the reality. Reality means they feel overwhelmed, missed deadlines, stressed teams, not managing the raw material, not being able to manage the product outcome or the product output, so many other things. This is going to be the reality for most of the startups, especially if they are the new startups. And we are trying to understand the gap. What are the gaps? What are the main reasons why this thing is happening to those startups? Gaps basically tells us that there is no systematic way to manage production from order to delivery. This is a big gap, big reason why these entrepreneurs are basically overwhelmed, or they are always stressed, especially the new entrepreneurs, because the gap is there. If they are having one order and they have to deliver the product or limited quantity of those products at some deadline, they may not be having any systematic way to manage these things from production to from order to delivery. This thing is important, and this is the main reason we are talking about this production planning and control in case of startups, or for the startups as well. The next thing is PPC is your roadmap to success. Why we are saying that PPC is your roadmap to success? Because PPC is the engine which is driving your manufacturing operations. All your manufacturing operations are being driven by the production planning and control. If you are having a clear map, if you are having a clear plan, then you can easily understand that how to use your resources efficiently, or I can see you can prevent the chaos That eliminates the costly resource wastage. If we are doing the crisis management, most of the time in India or in our country, the new entrepreneurs are basically getting involved into the crisis management. When they are feeling the crisis, they want to put all their resources or some important resources from one point of time to from one place to another place. That may be the wastage of resources, I can say. So if we are following the clear plan while we are producing something, then we can prevent the chaos very easily in our workplace. We can build trust among the employees and trust among the consumers or the customers. Both kind of trust are important. If our employees are facing overburden, feeling overburdened, or the chaos is there, they are feeling stressed because of the mismanagement of the resources allocation and some lack of planning, production planning and control, then that may be harmful for any startup. And on the same hand, if we are basically focusing towards the customer, because every business is to satisfy their own customers. So in that scenario, we can build trust with employees and with customers as well. And scales with you. The production planning and control, any plan, production planning and control is not anything new. It may be the plan that how we are going to use our resources and how we are going to plan that we can control the outcome of the production of our desired or the dream product. So that plan grows efficiently as demand increases. So that is the ease of building something. The 4 pillars of PPC, if we talk about how to implement that production planning and control for any new engineering students. So these are the 4 pillars. The pillar number 1 is we are saying the routing. We need to understand what is routing, and in future slides, I'm going a little in detail with these kind of things. Then the second pillar is known as the scheduling. We need to create a schedule when to do something or when not to do something. Then the third pillar of the PPC is the dispatching, and finally we are going to talk about the follow-up. Let's see that what are these pillars and what are the key things that we need to involve with these pillars. So pillar number 1, we were talking about the routing. Routing means the how we are going to do something. Routing defines the exact sequence of operation. So I've written these things in the board, that routing means exact sequence of the operation. No if, no buts. Each product must pass through from raw material to finished good. We are having some certain raw material, then we want at the other end of our plant, we want some finished good. So there must be a sequence that is not going to be so much flexible. That is rigid sequence, exact sequence we are talking about. So the raw material first come at table number 1. We are doing operation number 1 on that. Then it will go on the table number 2. We will be doing operation number 2 on that. Then it will come on table number 3, and we will be doing some other task, and then so on. Finally, it will reach up to the final finished good table, where we can basically dispatch that thing or pack that thing. That depends on the nature of the production. But routing means what? That we want the exact sequence of operation. For example, here I want to tell you that the first operation may be the wood cutting, where we may be cutting raw timber to the specifications. Then we are traveling in this path. Then we may be the sanding, smooth the surface for the assembly of those wooden structures. Then we are coming into the assembly section, where we are joining components for creating a new frames or something. And finally, we are doing the finishing, like applying stain, paint or the sealant or the polish, something like that. And finally, we will be coming up with our new chair or new table or new furniture. So if we are into the business of creating a furniture, that is the case. That is not any hard and fast rule. But yes, if we are talking about that we want to set up a business in which we are continuously want to generate the chairs, then the first thing is we need to have the raw material available with us. We need a proper place where we can store that raw material. Then we'll be starting with this number one step, wood cutting, and then sanding, then assembly, and then finally the finishing of that particular product. So this is the meaning of routing in the PPC. The next thing, next pillar here is the scheduling. Scheduling means when. Remember, routing, when we were discussing, we were talking about how to do things. Scheduling means when to do these things. What should be the exact time when we need to do this thing? We need to plan as per that scenario as well. So scheduling assigns a specific time windows to every operation. That is the main task of the scheduling. It assigns a specific time window to every operation. If we are talking about the previous example, then for wood cutting, there must be a time window, time limit. We need to spend 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours for the wood cutting process. If that process is going to extend their time limit, then there's something wrong. We need to take immediate action. We need to take immediate action to control that thing. That is a part of PPC, production planning and control. So scheduling means a specific time window to every operation, balancing machine capacity and labor availability to prevent the bottlenecks. We need to take care of all these things. For example, here we are having a machine that we are going to call that machine number B, and on Monday to Wednesday, machine A is being engaged. Cutting is booked on that particular machine. Then Thursday to Friday, machine B sanding is available, and from Monday to Friday, assembly team is ready to work. So this might be one plan. Machine capacity we are talking about, no double booking for the equipment. We cannot book machine A for the two purposes. If it is booked for the cutting, then no second job we are supposed to book on that particular machine. And the labor availability. Labor availability means aligned with the team shifts and the skills. Like what are the skills of the labor that is available to us, and what are the shift timings. As per those things or as per those details, we can plan the scheduling in our case. Now let's talk about the pillar number 3. Pillar number 3 is dispatching. We need to discuss something about the dispatching. Dispatching means the action. We have seen that how, we have seen that when, and now we want to see that what is the action. Dispatching is the moment planning becomes a reality. Finally, we are having the product. That's why I am saying that dispatching is the moment where planning becomes reality. Releasing of official work orders to the shop floor and initiating the actual production. Before initiating the actual production, we need to take care. Before initiating the actual production, we need to take care about how. That means how we are planning those things. Then when, what is the schedule, timings and other things. And finally, with that plan, we are going to start the actual production in our case. What are the main things that are basically including into the dispatching window? Work order issued, we need to check. Cutting teams receives Monday morning assignments. Then resources activated, machines, materials and peoples have been mobilized. And finally, the production begins. The plan is officially set into the motion. So this is the dispatching part of the production planning and control. The next thing is the fourth pillar of our PPC that we are going to discuss today is the follow-up. Follow-up means the check. We need to check whatever we have planned, whatever we are doing, whether this is happening in real time or not. That is the motive. Monitoring progress against the schedule and immediately or very soon taking the corrective actions. This is the main constituents of this follow-up stage or the follow-up pillar of PPC. Example, if the sanding machine breaks down, follow up immediately triggers rescheduling of all downstream tasks. There is zero guesswork. If one machine, your process is going to be stuck at one place, then you need to reschedule the following processes, because that may be the misutilization of the human resources or some other resources that you're using in your factory or in your startup. So some AI powered tools are already available. I have mentioned two of them, and you can see a lot of other things in this domain. These tools are very helpful, but the foundation is more important before using these tools. The crucial link is in PPC is the demand, production, and the inventory. These are the three forces that must move in a perfect sync. This is a crucial link, and these are the three forces: demand, production, and inventory. PPC keeps all these three forces in constant alignment, preventing waste, missed sales, and cash being locked in unsold stock. So if we talk about the demand means what customers want and when they want it. Here, the two things are important: what customer wants and when customers want it. Production, if we talk about how and how fast you can create the product, that is the production process. If we talk about inventory, that means raw materials, finished goods, stock, and so many other things. We need to take care of these things. So these are the main three forces which we can use. Here in this diagram, I already mentioned that what demand means: customer orders, forecasts, seasonal spikes, production, and the inventory. This is a very small case study, as I generally used to put one very small case study that is fictitious in nature, but yes, that case study is important to understand the core concept that we are going to talk, and we are talking right now. Let's say that Artisan Craft Company is the name of the company, and it is a small leather bag startup putting every PPC pillar into the practice. He's trying, that entrepreneur is trying to put all PPC concepts or all PPC pillars into the practice. And the company name is Artisan Craft Company, and their major product is the small leather bags. Let's see that how they can plan. It is the case study, and the target is the 50 bags in a month, by design, not by luck. So they are using 5 things like routing. The first thing, they need to work on the routing, that how they are planning to execute all these things. Then cutting, then stitching, then hardware, then finishing, and finally the quality control, quality check. This is the basic route that they are planning as in startup. Then the second thing is scheduling. Now they are working on when. How? They understood. Now they are talking about when. Cutting 2 days a week, stitching 3 days per week, and hardware 2 days per week. That may be the plan for that particular startup. I don't know. And finally, dispatching. Everything is ready. This is the action point. Daily work order issued to each craft person. If the employee knows that what he or she needs to do for today, so that they can monitor the efficiency of the employees, they can monitor the status of their production and everything else. Finally, the follow-up. Daily check-ins, tracking progress against the schedule. This is the most important thing. If we are doing all these things one by one, we have done the routing, we have done the scheduling, we have done the dispatching. Everybody knows that what they have to do. Finally, we need to take the follow-up so that we can control the entire process, because that thing is production planning. And this follow-up basically includes the control in that concept. So follow-up is required. Follow-up means daily check-ins, tracking progress against the schedule. That will tell the entrepreneur that what is happening there. and inventory. That is also a very important thing. Just in time leather orders, then minimal finished goods stock. They need to manage the raw material, then the finished good, so that their business runs smoothly. So that may be a very simple, very arbitrary case study for the artisan craft company that I created for this session. Now, finally, from chaos to control, before PPC, if we are not implementing PPC, we'll be dealing with missed delivery dates, confused or overwhelmed staff. They are always concerned what to do today. Then unhappy or churning customers. You missed my deadline. You may not be a good company in that case. And wasted material and time. They may be creating a hole in your profit. Your profit is not going or growing as per your expectation because of these things. But if we try to imply the PPC with our production, then we may be very much predictable and we may be able to generate the on-time output. Efficient resource utilization will be there. Whatever the resources in the form of hardware, in the form of human resource, whatever the resources we may be having, we may be able to utilize those resources very efficiently. Growing customer loyalty is the biggest benefit that any entrepreneur can expect, because if your customer loyalty is growing, that means your business is growing. And scalable operations are also possible with PPC, because, for example, in our previous case study, we were dealing with the order of 50 bags per month. It may be 500 bags per month very soon if the company is growing really fast. So in that case, if everything was in proper place, routing was there, planning was there, scheduling was there, everything was at its proper place, then company can easily imagine that with how many resources, with how many investments, they can grow, like producing from 50 to 500 bags per month. This thing is possible if we are following the basic fundamental concepts of PPC. So your next step to implement the PPC, here is your next step. The map territories and stops, that is the defining routes. Then schedule your work, assign tasks and times to your team, then dispatch orders, send jobs to crews, to the exact manpower. Please do this today, please do that on that day, and take regular follow-ups, daily checks and updates that what is happening and what is not happening. In every slide, I have mentioned few tools. You can anytime go and search for your favorite tool. But if you're really interested in PPC, then you can work with so many other tools as well. Otherwise, you can work with simple pen and paper and start scheduling your works if you're really seriously planning for your startup. Thank you very much.